Before doing the debugging process, we need to first define what is debugging. Debugging is the process of locating and removing errors in the source code. These errors usually comes in two forms: the runtime error and the logical error. Runtime errors are fairly easy to find because if you compile and run the program, it will automatically show you where you have done erroneous actions in your source code. For logical errors, it is hard to find because the code will run, but you will see some inconsistencies in the results of your code. So to start debugging our program, we need to set the breakpoint or starting point of our debug process. To do that, we will double click in this blue panel that is right before the line of code number. So to do that, we just need to double click, or we can also right click and click on toggle breakpoint. After setting our starting point, we will hover over here the little debug icon next to the run icon. After clicking on that, we will see here the variables tab where all of our debug processes will be recorded. This green highlighted line of code here indicates that this particular line of code has not been run yet. So to start running our code, we need to step into the code or step over the code. Stepping into the code means that we will go deeper into the code, evaluating line per line of that particular method or constructor. As for the step over, it means that it will only run that method or constructor, not evaluating each line of code. So this is the controls for the debug. Here's the step into and step over. So we will step over these print lines so that we would not need to go into their classes. So if we step into the print lines, we will go to this print stream.class that contains the print line. So we will step return to return to our source code and step over to just run the line of code. So now we are prompted with this choice. We will need to input what choice we want, 1, 2, or 3. In this case, we will type 1. After entering your choice, you will need to step over. So we will see that our choice has been recorded here. Then we would need to step into, then step over to skip those part. Now we are prompted again to choose between 1 or 2, so we will choose 2, enter, then step over that code, then step into the switch constructor, then step over again. Now we are prompted the money. Say for example, we have 10 pesos, enter, then step over, then step into the code, then step over. We can see that here that your change is 0, but we've inputted our money 10. The fair price is 9.05. We should be getting a change of 95.95 pesos. So what we would need to do now is to look into this particular block of code and see where we went wrong for not giving us that point something result that we were expecting. So we need to evaluate this block of code where we are not getting the supposed result that we are expecting. So if we look into this block of code, we can see that we have declared our variables as an integer, but we are computing for a double amount. So after doing our changes in the erroneous part of the code, we just need to debug it once again and go over. So now the problem is fixed. That's how you debug a source code in Java using Eclipse IDE.